Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Myers and welcome back to the Planet Zoo Twilight Pack. Meh, meh, meh. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm very tired. Hello, this is Slot. Welcome back to the Planet Zoo Twilight Pack. In today's video, we're going to take a look at all the new construction, foliage, general items for this pack, which for me is very, very exciting because, of course, this is a Twilight / Halloween spooky themed pack. There's lots of very cool items that just stroke the Halloween loving person inside of me. That's a weird sentence. I'm going to delete you, Mr. Myers. No! Sorry. I also have a terrible cough, by the way, so I'm going to try to control that. Anyways, as per usual, I want to mention that, as per usual, for the second time today, I want to mention this pack is not actually out until tomorrow. It comes out on the 18th. You can wishlist it right now on Steam. I'm just going to show you some cool items today. So, let's get started. Starting with the centerpieces. Ooh, ah. In the centerpieces, we've got our new statue. First of all, we've got our suspicious, world-dominating raccoon planning his little missions. And then, very cool, we've got the gargoyles. These are the new centerpieces, really. So we've got the wombat gargoyle. Technically not a gargoyle, I believe. I can't remember what the proper term is, but I think a gargoyle has to spit water. Either way, we've got I suppose you could make it spit water. We've got wombats. We've got the raccoon with his little apple, looking absolutely thrilled with the little apple. We've got the skunk, which looks more like a demonic reptile. And we've got a big leaping fox. So those are the new centerpieces, these stone carved. It's a shame we don't have a bat. We've got 4 out of 5 animals. A bat would have been cool, but they are very, very fun. They really, really are. I'm a big fan of these. These are some of my favourite items in the entire pack. Really, really well modelled. Goes look very cool on any castle and stuff like that, which of course is important, as we'll see in a bit. Follow the arrow. Next up, we have props. I'm trying to do this in like the exciting stuff first. So we've got some new metal iron fence stuff. We've got a curved one. We've got thin and thick poles. No comments. We've got a big curves, if you want to use this for more like a gateway, a doorway kind of thing. Have this kind of a jar and have people walk through there. And we've got a straight piece there. So there's your iron fence props right there. We've got these fantastic new paper mache made creatures. You might have seen these little the pins that people got. We've got the fox here with little, you can just, it feels like it's made by a child a little bit, which I really like. It's been scribbled on, it's been painted really roughly. Legs are kind of stuck on with a bit of rope. We've got Myers, which is a really odd choice, but very cool. He's clearly meant to be a little bit of a vampire. Has made his way from the campaign. We've got an adorable little raccoon. We've got a wombat, and we've got a skunk. Big fan of those. Over here in props, we've got our portcullis stuff. So this is actually your portcullis right here. You can see how, I'll just show you this. If you duplicate this a few times, and kind of didn't have random rotation on like a numpty, for example, and you duplicate this like this, and then suddenly, bam, you've got yourself a portcullis. And you've got some metal banding, the tip here, lots of good tips, so you'd put that on there, and that'd be the bit that comes down at the bottom, and some general pieces of wood if you wanted to build your own sort of version of this. Very cool stuff. Over here, my favourite bit, we have the lights. All of the lights. We have mushrooms. Now these are all colour changeable, as I'm showing you. They all light up as well. It's the stems that light up, not the big floofy ploppy bit at the top. So this will light up. This slightly sexual looking thing over here lights up. It kind of looks like a boat as well though, which could be quite handy. Whereas this one, which is obviously meant to sit on top of that, doesn't. So they come separate. You got this one that looks a kind of bit like a clicker head a little bit, and you can see I've changed the colour on that, and this one over here, just to showcase how crazy you can go with the colours if you so choose. But you can see there's tons of options, all these really cool, slightly Alice in Wonderland vibe sort of things, and if you cover these in a little bit of mist and some really bright lights, they look awesome. We also have the jack-o'-lanterns. Again, these will colour changeable, and I'll just show you that very quickly. There you go. White always looks pretty cool, I think. Detailed colours, you can change that. You can change the stripes and everything. You can the stem I should say that they put off, so you can make that brown. And then these also have lights as well, so that's made that red, and we'll see that come to life in a second. Very, very cool. So there we've got 3 of those. Little baby. Anyways, also in lights, we've got a bunch of these decals. There's more decals we'll see in a little bit, but these ones all light up at night. And again, all colour changeable, as you can see. We've got moons, we've got bats, we've got spiders. Super excited about this. I wish we had like a bigger spider web. I'll talk about that more a little bit later on, but it is very cool to have one finally. We've got fungi, and we've got some tree stems and stuff like that over there. It just gets me every time. And we've got some tree stems over there. We've got the eyes down here, which we saw, of course, in the trailer. So these, again, these will glow at night. I'll show you that in a second. And also in lights, we've got the lantern iron wrought kind of stuff. So we've got an actual lantern here, which is upside down, and the chain that it hangs on. We've got this bar here that your lantern, I guess, also hangs from, but you can have that separate if you want to use it for something else. And we've got the Bratzy here, which, as you can see, you can change the colour from and make it into like witchy wooey green lighting, which I think is very sexy. I shift this over to nighttime, so there you go. There's your mushrooms. You can see I've changed the colouring on some of them. I mean, yeah, I don't know about that one, but they are very, very, very cool. I'm a really, really big fan of these. I think it's very effective. This one in particular, where the whole thing is glowing like mad. I think that's going to look really good. And there's our pumpkins, so you can see, yeah, if I grab this one, for example. This one lights up, and the others don't light up. But, maybe make that more of an orangey sort of colour. Either way, very, very cool. You could actually very easily, if you wanted to, let's get rid of Twilight back there. Get a little candle. You know, go typical with it, go old school. Very cool, there we go. Right, that's probably why they don't light up, because you can actually see inside these ones, whereas this one has been somewhat, you know, blocked off with the big old teeth. Decals and the eyes there lighting up, as you can see, and of course our Bratzy, that roaring green fire, looking very, very cool. Right, moving on. So over here we have the architecture stuff. Over here is our window / door stuff. We've got this new sort of dark straight wood, and you can make your own doors with it and make your own windows. So these are new emissive panels. If you make this nighttime very quickly, you'll see these glow at night. So if you want to make big curvy windows, you can do that, and now we've got these covers for them as well. We've got latches and door handles and locks to make these big heavy wooden doors with these, you know, ancient iron locks and stuff on them if you want to go for that vibe. These are plinths for your gargoyles. Your gargoyles, is that even correct the way I've done this? I'm not actually sure with this one, but I think the gargoyle sits up there, but I think the gargoyle might sit down. The gargoyle sits somewhere. It might be on the other side entirely. I think this might have made a mistake here. Maybe it's meant to be more like that. I think it's meant to be more like that. Yeah, and the gargoyle sits on the end, right? Yeah, but anyways, as you can see, that can have multiple colours if you want to get really funky with it. Over here, this is the stuff I really like as well. This is the castle stuff. This definitely feels like where a lot of the work went. As I say, loads of different pieces if you want to build your own castles. We've got the masonwork towers. We've got the base for the towers. We've got the top bits, castlements. We've got the roof bases. We've got trims. We've got caps, and then we've got all these the roof sections, all these individual ones, which you can colour change as well, as you can see. And you can also change the colour of the lights inside. Very, very effective. You know, you can build some really cool looking castle kind of things for these, obviously. It's just, yeah, I don't know. If you want to build a castle, this is a great pack. It's now finally possible without tons of work. Well, I mean, it's probably still lots of work, but still. Over here we have more of the castle's building stuff. So this is all the Twilight Mason work is what it's called. And you see, of course, we've got the regular architecture kind of shapes there. You change the colour and make that super cute if you want. One really cool thing you can do, you can see here that I've changed the colour a little bit of the mortar between the bricks. If we grab this and do the same, and we got some mortar colour, what we can do is kind of change that to a green. And as you can see, it kind of looks like it's, you know, got ivy growing through the cracks, or, just thought of this, blood. Why not? Over here we've got some more stuff that kind of supports the mason work. So you've got support beams, you've got machicolation things. So machicolation is, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct, machicolation? Machicolation is basically the, you know, you've seen films or when you actually go visit a castle where they would pour oil or boiling hot water or acid or whatever. Probably not acid, but, you know, they would pour things through sort of holes in the castle on the invading armies down below. That's what you use the machicolation stuff for. It's really interesting. I don't know how you use this giant pointy thing for it. I need to figure out how all this comes together, but, you know, it's nice stuff to kind of just make your mason work look a little bit more interesting. We've also got a new roof set with these shingles, of course, colour changeable, as you can see. This one's actually really interesting just because of this shape here, which is round, which is, you know, all this is the regular roof stuff, but this here is completely new and very, very different looking, so that's quite exciting. And I'm going to swing bada down here. We've got a little bit more over here. This is all window stuff. As you can see, if you wanted to build some gigantic windows, we do have these new stained glass castle window looking kind of things over here. Now obviously this is much too big for this, but you could kind of connect these together, or you could just build your own manual window. I don't know. Either way, if you wanted to build gigantic windows, and I'll show you that in just a second, then this would be the way to do it. All these curves, all these little bits of wood to make your window beams and stuff like that. Very cool. Right, facilities. So we have a new path. As you can see, this is like a slate path. It's got like a iron, very typical Halloween-y iron, raw iron fence. And we actually also have a new grass path, unless I'm totally, utterly crazy and this isn't new. But I think it is new. We've got a new grass path with this sort of natural wooden barrier as well. We've got some new bins. We've got a full cauldron and an empty cauldron. I don't know how this one works as a bin, but I absolutely love it. You know, it's bubbling constantly and the smoke is billowing out. It's very cool. And of course you can change colour on that if you wanted it to look super funky. We've got some new benches, which are really, really nice. This kind of see-through spiderweb, cobweb kind of thing on both sides. I really wish we had these, like maybe that duplicated and that as well. And we had these cobwebs as a placeable item. Like having these large, very cool looking cobwebs would have been a really nice decoration. And of course this gigantic, absolutely bloody gigantic canopy that you'd use on your picnic. I think it's just humongous, it really is. Over here we've got a few more signs, so we've got some stalagmite, stalactite ones over here, colour changeable of course, and then we've got our animal signs, our wombat, our bats, our raccoon, our skunk and our red fox. The bats get 3 because they're very special. Right, onto foliage, nearly done folks, nearly done. We've got these new autumn leaves, absolutely love these, very excited to use these just to give it that nice warm autumnal cozy kind of feel, gonna be very cool. This new set of trees, this one in particular is maybe my favourite item in the pack, the bristlecone pine trees and the roots, the branches, whatever you want to call them. And you could connect these together into one big monster tree, put some eyes in it, you know, it would look really cool. You could use these as tentacles and stuff throughout your park, you could use them just popping up at the side, all twisty and gnarly and very Halloween appropriate. I mean, that's like proper horror movie stuff, I really like that. We've got some foxgloves. For some reason, I don't know why it's been done like this. We've got a small pink one and a big pink one, and then we got a yellow one and a yellow one, both in slightly larger sizes. So I don't know why it's like that. I don't know if the technology doesn't exist, but I think this is the kind of thing that would really benefit from Flexicolor. I know we don't have Flexicolor nature, but I don't really see why we don't necessarily. And like in situations like this, it seems like it'd be really helpful. So hopefully that's something we can get in the future. We've got these are yews, I believe. Yeah, we've got some yew trees, which got little, medium, you know, again pretty gnarly with all the roots and all the branches kind of splaying out there in this big boy over here. Our stalagmites and stalactites, colour changeable, as you can see, very cool. And we've got some ghost fungus, just 2 little ones for this. I wish we had more fungus. I think this is something we're lacking quite a lot in the game, so more of this we can get the better, but pretty cool to get it in the game. And this random little, what's it, Lords and Ladies plant. There you go. Little baby Lords and Ladies plant, just doing its thing. Oh, hello. I didn't even see this side. It's quite nicely detailed. So I believe that's everything you get in the pack itself when you actually buy the DLC. There might be some new nature that isn't part of the pack. They do tend to add some new nature items. But there's no way for me to organise by what's new, and there's so many nature pieces in the game now, which is obviously a great thing, but there's so many that it's not necessarily easy to tell what's been added new to the game. We do have a couple more things I want to show you though, 3 more. Some other stuff, as you can see. So over here we've got a new pumpkin ball. I think this is free for everyone now, so this is just all your animals that play with balls. We'll now have a pumpkin to play with. This is the new walkthrough exhibit thingamajiggy. Now in the pack, this is of course meant for the fruit bats. I've colour changed this, by the way. And you can colour change the walls inside. But this is really cool. You can do quite a lot with this. If I go to customize, you can see we can change the walls to different things, to glass. There you go. We've got a glass wall at the side. And if we want to change this one to wire mesh, and this one to wire mesh, and this one to wire mesh. There you go. So you can have wire mesh instead if you wanted to, or if you want complete freedom, you can have no wall at all. And all your bats would kind of just hang out. Now, at the moment, I believe this is only for the bats, but the fact that this has been added as a general item, as far as I'm aware, There you go, look at that. And you can change these as well. The entrance way thingamajiggy, door 1 can be a strip curtain, or you can have no door. And of course you can then change the colour on that at the bottom as well, if you were that way inclined. Very cool, right? Yeah, I really like that. But the fact that's been added as a general, I think it's set up for birds. I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's eventually going to lead to birds in the game, and they will use this walkthrough aviary thing. It doesn't get any bigger than this. You know, this is what you're using. You can't extend it. You can't do anything like that. But you could connect multiple of them together if you wanted to, potentially, stuff like that. Yeah, and I just want to show this very quickly. These small exhibits have been updated, so you can now use custom boundaries. So if we nip inside here, boop, there you go. Badges. And, I don't know if this is new, but I'd never noticed it before, but you can change the colour of the water as well. So, there you go. Slightly strange little exhibit. Right, so that is it for the new stuff. I just want to show you some stuff over here. This is stuff that Frontier themselves has built. You know, they always include some blueprints as part of these updates, so you can see what kind of stuff you can build using the pieces. I really like this entranceway they've built. I'm going to build something like this for part of my zoo that I've got in mind. This, where is it? There it is. This little raccoon. I genuinely laughed out loud as soon as I saw that little raccoon, because it just caught me off guard. Poking outside of this old windmill, which I think is a very, very, very cool idea. Really exceptionally well built. We've got this big tower, big fortress sort of thing, and this is maybe my favourite though. This is what they've done with the bat habitat. So you'd walk it down here, and you can see just how different you can make this feel by using some stonework and the mesh walls and just putting a little bit of work in. Of course, you could go much crazier than this as well, but it's got this really nice fusion of the stonework and the natural cave kind of stuff, and I think that looks really cool. Yeah, they've done really good work on this stuff this time around, and some really cool ideas for how you want to, if you want to build this kind of thing in your own zoos. Love that. That makes me want to build. I have a save file called the Bloody Bestiary, because at one point I was going to build, before Elderwood, before Amsterdam actually, I was messing around with a Bloodborne themed zoo, and there was a reference image I got that looks exactly like this. So I think it's very cool. It's all very cool. So that is it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk very quickly about the pack. I really like the castle stuff. I think the castle stuff is really, really helpful. I think, you know, clearly there's a lot of work into these bits over here in particular. The decorations we have are phenomenal. Like, the jack-o'-lanterns are awesomely made. The mushrooms are fantastic. The eyes I really like as well. The lights I think are really, really good. These little paper mache guys are exceptional, as are the stonework gargoyles. I wish we had a little bit more, just a little bit. I feel like we could have, you know, I'm coming at this very much from a Halloween point of view. I wish we had 5 or 6 more decorations that felt appropriate for a Halloween setting. You know, like a little fake ghost or something, and a little fake witch. Just little typical cliche Halloween props that would have been really, really useful. It's a bit of a shame. I think it could have been expanded a little bit more. There's obviously a lot of focus on the mason work and the construction stuff, and don't get me wrong, it's all really good stuff, and I love the new nature items, yada yada yada, but I just wish, because it's me, I just wish we had even more Halloween decorations. You know, we've got these kind of like witch's cauldron sort of things, but we don't have a witch, and we don't have a ghost, and we don't have, I don't know, we don't have an actual spider, you know, like an actual spider prop, which has been really cool as well. I am a really big fan that I love the decorations that we do get. Look like they're about to drop the hottest album of 2022. I do have a slightly ridiculous idea for like a zoo. It's going to be an extension to Elderwood. It's a little bit daft. It's probably not going to be today, just so you know. But it will start this week. It'll start hopefully tomorrow or the day after. And hopefully people really enjoy the build. We've only got 5 animals to do, and I've got a way to do it without it taking up too much time, and to make it a little bit more viable, even if it sounds utterly crazy. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you very much for joining me. I may see you later on today, but I wouldn't count on it. But hopefully in a day or two, we'll be back with our first build using this new pack. And yeah, from me, like, if you enjoyed the video, let me know what you think about the decorations in the new Twilight pack. And remember, it comes out tomorrow, and you can get hold of it for yourselves then on Steam. Thank you for joining me. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.